Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's workshop. We're excited to have you here. Today's session will be led by our Director of International Sales, Dr. Melissa Cow.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see it now. So thanks again for joining us today. This is a series of product workshops. So the starting principle of this workshop is that all customers are unique. They have different business needs, and that is why all customers require customization. So V9 is here to reduce the effort and to increase the capabilities of our partner and of our end users. It's not only just a data visualization tool, but also an aggregation engine. So this scope of this workshop, we're going to talk straight into the no-code customization, but this series of workshop, we will cover the features and functionalities of the V9, how it can be scalable and very cost effective. So this is covered in a different workshop. I encourage you to go and watch that. And then the training for first-time user on how to use the, how to set it up, configure it, and how to use the analytic platform. And we also have a workshop that talk about the V9 for different stakeholder, like the managers, store managers, building managers, facility managers, to the C-level management directors, to more specialized team like the marketing, the operating team. So how do they use the V9 and so forth? So today's particularly, we're going to talk about the basic customization where no code, so requiring no code customization. So how you can do all the tailored dashboard, create alerts, create the workflow, and do data integration. So no coding, no big budget, no technical expertise required there. We're also going to have another workshop that's going to talk a little bit more advanced customization, where you can actually use V9 to do your own app development. So you can define your own custom metrics, build your domain-specific apps for your specific industry. So how you can use it for your value adding through the advanced integration and development. So that's on the next webinar. So the legacy challenge in the people counting project. Now, traditional people counting projects are usually partially completed, we have to say. It then end up being perceived as complex, costly, fragmented, and it often failed to meet the customer's expectation and budget. And also the other things is, even if you help to customize it, what happened if the main guy leave the company? So either the system integrator no longer supporting the project, or the IT guy who initially set up this initiative have left, then who is going to handle that? And a lot of time customers don't have a guy to handle all the error handling as well. So the traditional people counting is where the customer will buy the hardware, and it has some graph and charts on it to show the footfall, the hourly metrics and all that. And then they export in CSV or Excel. But the real actual business requirement is that the operation team want a real-time alert to tell them when they need to look into things. Marketing team want to look at event uplift and individual event uplift, and this event compare with that event, all happening at different day, different time. Business rules, what are business specific things that are for them, and how do they want to look at the KPI? Single sign-on so that they can have proper user access control. They want to have customized report for different people, and of course integration to their BI. So this is eventually what the business requirement is, and you have a big gap here. Now, so from here, so all these every wish is become an expensive development work. And the thing is, because then obviously in a way is an unsatisfactory outcome, is because this become a special project. It is expensive to build, but every stable system takes millions of hours. Like those people who are using this are business people. They're used to use things like the WhatsApp, the Facebook, then they expect the software to be very easy to use. Their time is very expensive. They're not here to help solve bugs or they have no patience for delays and limited usability. So this then become a very limited thing for them, despite them having to pay so much for that. And of course, then you have more guys having to involve there, from the vendor who's selling you the hardware to the consultant, reseller, and integrator, all adding costs to it. Therefore, when you buy a people counting system, hardware is one cost. The complete system is not only another cost, but often is a challenge. So this is why FootfallCam V9 is a platform, it's a software platform designed specifically to turn your footfall data into actionable business results. So because as we say, each customer is different. In order to fully utilize the business potential of the V9, we have introduced all these customization functions that require minimum training and can meet most customers' expectation. So from how do you configure the different user account with different access level to rules engine so that you can trigger different type of alerts and behavior, to integration, to custom report builder for different stakeholder, to even to the device level rules engine, what kind of alert you want to send if you notice this activity, to floor plan design. So it reduces all the expertise required. It is developed for partner or end users who have limited technical ability. So it's a simplified with no code tools. Yeah. So it's a no code. So you can set alerts, build dashboard, as we mentioned, all here without technical expertise. We also have a lot of modular design pre-configured with best practices for through different kind of industry templates built in. So for faster adoption, so you don't have to start from scratch. You can start from a template and then make it adapt to your specific need. And what we also have is we're bridging the last mile. So FootfallCam can handle the final stage customization. So for example, you started with some of that, but you needed some more technical help with that. We are here to help you to make sure that you get the full to meet the full requirement. Now let us explain a bit more about FootfallCam V9 as a basis. It is a full stack software. So from raw data to AI to giving you meaningful metrics like actionable metrics, and to having rules to interpret that, and then sending an alert to do that. So and also from AI analytics and all that to giving you recommendations and instruction, so like best practice instruction, to of course data visualization with your dashboard and all this. So it has all these things in, and it also can take in third-party data into here, like the weather data, the demographic economical data, and your location data. All of this can come in here, like your sales data, everything come in here as well, and also integrating to your BI system for all your other systems. So there's no data locked in, with full flexibility. We have a data sheet here where you can have a look at it. As well as, of course, then proactive alerts on there. So it's being proactively looked after your whole system. So it's also going to save you time in maintenance as well. Yeah. So that's the value adding opportunities, especially for our partners. So as we mentioned just now, a full system, a business ready system is a solution. It's not just a hardware and metrics. So traditionally, without the V9, then you probably have to involve different stage. You have to involve different expertise. At the beginning, we're from the reseller or the consultant to tell you what kind of system you will need, to then obviously purchasing and installation, to then this full stage here from the system integrator, from configuring the system to integration to maintenance to training. So it is, of course, then expensive because of the profit stacking, and unreliable because it's become a special project for the system integrator. And because of the budget issue, then you obviously with limited, you probably just get the bare minimum that you need on there. But with V9, what we're trying to do is the V9 is empowering our local partners so that they can carry out this full stack without coding efforts. That's the main point of it, so that you can deliver it on time, within budget, with a high customer satisfaction, so they don't have to worry that, you know, when you leave or when one of the IT person who was in charge left the company, they will still continue be able to do that. And of course, ultimately, what we're wanting to help you is to win more bids. So now let's walk through some real world scenarios. We're going to take 3 that illustrates why such retailers need a system like the V9 and why traditional system integrator will struggle with this request. So the first one, let's look at a fashion retail chain in France. Now, the goal for fashion retail chain is often very clear. They want to track obviously the footfall, their staff performance, they want to boost the sales conversion, and they want to implement a system that runs with minimum ongoing maintenance. This is usually the goal. So when the client first present their requirement, they often understate the complexity. It may sound simple, but once you begin the actual implementation, it can quickly turn into hundreds, if not thousands, of development works. So here is an example of what they typically ask for. So they first start to tell you, oh, we just want a store footfall demographics in the custom report. It has to be French, easy. We need to track a returning customer. Oh, and please filter the footfall traffic to only after the lunch hours, not before, because maybe, you know, they are busier over there. So these are the basic requirement, and you could probably then show them like so, yeah, in French and with all these demographic and so forth. But then it will continue. It will then say, I would like sales performance tracker that update every 5 minutes because I want to be able to act on it now and not only know it tomorrow where I can't do anything for today. And we want predictions on which customer are likely to walk in next. Because so what if I know what customer has come? I want to know who will be coming so I can prepare my staff to do what. Yeah. So that's all in the planning and what the chances of converting are and how we should optimize conversion strategy, and all in real time. So this is real case. This is what our customers are actually demanding, right? And on top of that, they don't have a dedicated IT team. Yeah, they are a fashion retailer, right? So, but they still need alerts if something goes wrong, and those alerts must be actionable. So they need to have a notification to tell them when things goes wrong, like this one of your device has gone offline, and in that notification, they would want to ideally have a clickable link that leads them to the issue itself, where they can then resolve it or without needing technical assistance. So these are very uh, reasonable requests from the customer. And then also it might then come with the franchise complexity because many fashion retailers operates under like independent international franchises. So each franchisee may want to, they're probably happy to pay and they agree to pay for their system and the software license because they want to benefit from the group bargaining. So, you know, group procurement, they get the best price for the whole group because of the volume pricing. So they like the group bargaining and centralized purchasing, but they'll be paying for that. But at the same time, they're reluctant to share data. So which franchisee wants the HQ to monitor them, right? So they may agree to send some data back, like the basic footfall figures, but they want the full stack capability just for themselves, obviously because they are the data owner, of course. So they want to have this kind of tiered or split capabilities when it comes to sharing data. So all this a simple basic footfall data won't have that. But all these needs can be pre-configured from day one and ready to use immediately with our V9. So consider that for most system integrator, fulfilling such a spec would justify a project budget from $5,000 to $50,000, of course, depending on how much customization is required. But with V9, all of this can be handled with little to no added costs because the platform is built to support multi-level configuration, role-based dashboards, automated reports, real-time integration, rule-based alerting, language localization, and decentralized franchise control. So we have all that already. So you can add all this for them at no added cost to yourself. Yeah. And this is where V9 stands up. So it's not only just a device platform, but as a complete retail operations solutions that is affordable, powerful, and ready to scale with the businesses. Now let's look at another example, a national museum in the UK. So the requirement is they want to help the museum organizer to manage crowd flow, to measure engagement at different exhibits, different zone, different hall, to track footfall for each exhibition session. So you might have different exhibition sessions. So you have a special exhibition that runs for 2 weeks from this date to that date and things like this. And with high data accuracy because they need it for funding justification. So what they need goes beyond just a simple in-out counting. They want to visualize visitor flow. For example, if I show you a dashboard here, on here. So they want to visualize all this visitor flow, identify which exhibitions generate engagement, like during the event, before and after during of the event. They want to be able to access the heat maps and flow maps of people. Where do people go from one exhibition to the other? For example, a basic in-out counter won't be sufficient. And you need a dashboard that must be tailored to showing daily and monthly schedule as well, if you like, and then all the different patron demographic for that. They also will need things like exception-based reports, for example, special exhibition attendance report. So with the specific start and end date, like just now, and also maybe then, all the different halls as well, engagement for that, and the uplift as well. So another key features is also the real-time occupancy monitoring. So you can identify busy hours, ensure that security and staffing are deployed appropriately to the place, because this is critical for crowd control and compliance to the with the capacity limit as well. Yeah. So the third one, fast food restaurant. So with V9, we can certainly tailor fit the same device with the same set of raw data into different metrics, into different workflows, in different use cases. Yeah. So say we have this fast food restaurant, it's a large chain. So for fast food restaurant, they're not so concerned about sales conversion because everybody who come in will buy, but they need to monitor service delivery. They want to reduce their wait time and to improve their staff service efficiency. So for them, the key requirement is a speed of service dashboard. We have it here, so you can always look at it there as well. So a speed of service dashboard, so they can visible both at the store level as well as at the headquarters. So the dashboard allows users to also zoom in if they want to go to specific zone and to identify specific locations that require attention. So ideally, the dashboard will highlight sudden overcrowding, like here, beyond the expected level. So they have the expected level on there. So they can monitor table occupancy, the turnover rates, the queue length, and all that. So they can, and using simple API, they can easily manage 500 of their outlets. Yeah. Now, each outlet is originally quite different as well. Some are designed for fast-moving traffic with minimal sitting, but during the peak hour, then it's very easy to be overcrowded because then they have very little sitting, then no sitting is available. So these are dimensional issues. And in fact, some businesses even use this data to decide whether they want to relocate their stores or not. So this highlights how powerful and critical the data is. Now, all of this supported by the daily reports. You can push it to their Power BI. You have alerts as well. So alerting to staff, should they now go and clean up the table? Because you want to, so the table, you have a lot of people in, you better clean up the table so that you can have more people sitting now. Should you go and wash your toilets, and things like this? Because a lot of time the staff obviously include the washroom cleaning as well. So all those operation efficiency in an alerts for that. And of course, then you also have the alerts log to see how many alerts has been created and if they have act on the alerts or not. So you have all this operational efficiency on a day-to-day basis for that. So this is very powerful and for them. Yeah. So really each customer is very different, and some of them also use the existing CCTV without Centroid. We covered this in another webinar because security for them is not as critical compared to a jewelry store. So they will want to use the CCTV for all these data that can come into here as well. So all this we can cover it in here. So coming back to these value adding opportunities. So in many cases, when those requirements is raised, system integrators will have to quote high prices in sometimes because of the amount of work involved, and sometimes also maybe in hopes that the client will drop the request and just having a basic system, right? But when a competitor enters in the picture, so they either have to reduce the scope so that they can reduce the price, or they may just have to withdraw entirely. But if you can deliver these capabilities with V9, you will win the deal. And this is what the customer really wants to buy. They're not only just a device, not only just the hardware and the metrics, but they want a full solution. They also don't want a hard-coded customization either, because then that is the concern is, what if you stop supporting, like we mentioned before, and also if the solution depends on complex code, they worried about losing control. What if you stop supporting, like I say, or the people, the person in charge has left? But if it's built as a configurable platform, then their team can then manage it. And that's what makes the V9 attractive as well. So your approach is to position the customization as part of the training. So you can offer technical support and knowledge transfer, empowering their own internal team. So like custom report setup, really, they can leave it to their own internal team to build the different dashboard for different stakeholder. Now, for example, the museum, they would need the reports specifically tailored for funding justification. So the one that is for funding justification will want to look very different from the one that they internally review and how to improve their system, right? So, but then you can have all these essential metrics in there without having to piece data from multiple sources. We done all the third-party data integration as well. Yeah, and apart from just the display, the dashboard, they also require data integrity checks and periodic updates to their internal database. These are all standard expectations. So with V9, you can deliver all this at minimal cost. That's a key thing about it. Everything can be done, but at what cost? So with V9 is with minimal cost. That's your competitive edge. Because now not only you're just offering a product, you're offering the value-added solutions. You not only compete on the hardware, because if you compete on just the hardware, it's a commodity selling. And then it just comes down which hardware is cheaper. But when you move into value-added selling, your advantage is significant. It's not just about being cool like Salesforce or SAP or SAP. Being cool is one thing, but customizability is what matters. Those big platforms have massive engineering teams behind their customization. They're very expensive and complex, but V9 is designed to be powerful, not flashy, especially in its rules engine. I'll show you that, which allows a customization without coding. And that's the difference, yeah. And why we offer customized reporting, because one irrelevant metric is already a waste of time. So every report should serve as a decision-making purpose. So the goal is reduce the training time and make everything click-based. So the decision-making could be intuitive. Yeah. So just like in an airport. So if the crowd or if the queue or in a fast food restaurant as well, if the queue reaches a certain threshold, then you should send an alert to have more staff open another checkpoint, so forth. So those are the thing that we want to build into this. So to help the business, the client, the end user to be able to make the decision making intuitive and in real time as well. So now let's look into the customization. So these are all the things that we can do. I'll go through one by one. So it's this how these are the key features that make V9 highly customizable, advanced, and suitable for supporting complex environments like franchises, multinational business units, and international retail chains. So let's look at them one by one. We'll start with user account configuration. So it allows you to implement strict data access control. So for example, a data analyst may only have access to a certain data set, while others are more restricted to the others. And obviously some people have access to everything. So like say for store managers who likely won't have Power BI accounts, she can still access the simple live dashboards as well as predicting footfall for the next half an hour. And so each account can be customized to fit its specific use case. So let's have a quick, we have some link here where you can have a look. So let's have a quick demo. So here, so this you can create the different user group. You can give it a name, and then you can give permission, and then you can pull which user are in this group. User can be in multiple group as well. So you can allow access to view the dashboard, but not creating or deleting any dashboards. You can allow them to view the area, but not modifying it, things like this. So you can also allow them whether or not they can export, they can have access to customize the rules, and so forth. Yeah. And you can also then create, you can have all your users here. We have single sign-on integration as well to Active Directory. So you can have a bulk input you can have a bulk input as well as single sign-on. So we can have all those access control. You can sync the Active Directory, or you can just manually add a new user if you like in here. And you can then control what site access can they have. So all your available site are here, or that you don't want to give them access, then you can obviously remove that. So very easy, very user-friendly way of using it. So let me show you a video as well, so you can access to this video. So you go into setting, and then you can go and create the user group. On that, you can edit it, and you can obviously then deselect or select whichever access you want to provide, as we mentioned before, and then you come into the user list. You can also then adjust it. So you can even use whether or not you give him which kind of user group access he can have, and the languages, and which site he can have access on there. So that's for that. And so the next one is rules engine. So for rules engine, you can without a rule-based automation, so each of your business process has to be manually followed. So things like if you have this number of people in, I have to do that. When the queue is over, I have to do that. So it's all manually done, and every part of the workflow has to be done separately. And you rely on your staff to be on top of things. Yeah, but with V9, we can reduce this labor costs by setting up the alerts based on predefined rules. For example, you can trigger an alert if something unusual happens. So your staff don't have to keep an eye out. So they only when they receive an alert, they will act on it. So it allows them to free up their time to do some other things. So they know now the queue is not high. They can then go to the back room to stock up. So setting up these workflows is usually requires programming, and there's always a risk of error. But with V9, this can be implemented with no code or low code setup. So let's have a look. So these are the different rules you can set up. You can set up many different rules. You can go in there. You can set up an alert to your IT team or network team if the network was down, the device is offline. If there's any environment change, if you have an overhead declaration, you can send to your security guard or your checkpoints personnel, the queue monitoring. Sales data, if import has import come in, if it hasn't, who do you send it to your data analyst an alert? So all these different kind of alerts, you can set it there. So what you do is you can then I will show you a quick setting as well. So you have things like you have a different condition. So you have this condition when the queue time is less than the threshold, and a different condition and it has been restored for a period of time, and this alert sends to who. So this is for a queue when it then restored back down to, so it has breach and then now come back to normal. And then you want to send an alert to the supervisor to say, okay, everything is normal now. You have queue, so you can have a condition which is this condition and that condition, or this condition or that condition, where you have a queue time um, uh, for going back to normal, but between this level and that level, then is approaching the threshold. And when the threshold is breached, and for how long. So you don't have to immediately send an alert. You give them a buffered zone of like maybe 1 minute or 5 minutes, and then you send it there. And then like things like this. So you can have this different one. So you can watch this video and it will show you how you can go and set it up. Again, you can go into the settings, into the rules definition. For example, if you want to set up queuing, live queuing monitoring. So you come into the rule settings here, you will set that up, you apply to which zone, and then again here you want to set up, okay, if when it's critical and it has breached for more than 5 minutes, who do I send it to? Which alert do I send it to? So the different alert here, as we've shown here, you can have different alerts to different people. Like, for example, when it's nearing going to breach, you can send it to a supervisor. When it's during the breach time, you obviously send it to all these operator, and when it's critical, you send it to the manager. So you can have that. So in here, some live here, so we can have look at that. So just do a quick one here for you, just to show. So you can come in here, as you say, you can give it a name, you can apply it to which area, which kind of threshold and which recipient you want to send it to. Yeah, so that is all in there. So the next one, integration. So while it's possible to share data via the API with various subsystems, but not everyone has technical expertise to manage the API. APIs can be complex, especially when you need to handle error management. So for example, you have an API that's going to retrieve the data every hour or every 5 minutes. What if the extraction failed? You then need to create all those error handling on there to ensure data integrity. So it could become complex. So that's why V9 provides plugins for most major subsystems that you're likely to encounter, like Shopify, Storeforce, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, Power BI. A lot of retailers are using Power BI. Tableau, even FTP. So we have all these plugins already. And so this allows you to simply click a button to share data with high reliability and integrity. So which is often the most important part. So let me show you how, so integration as well. So you can do weekly, daily, it can be data exporting that, or data import, like importing opening hours, sales data importing. So importing, exporting, scheduling an email on there, and how often you want to schedule it for, and the last 5 jobs success. So it gives you a log so that you can follow, oh no, that wasn't done or whatever. So you can look into it on there. We have a video here, which you can see all the different integration on there. So you can set up. So you have data import, export, email scheduler, and all that. So for example, in here, you want to do an export, then you can do that, and you can create that email scheduler as well. For that, let me go through on here. So for example, here, then so that's where if you want to do bulk scheduling, so a little bit more details here. So again, if you want to do a report, and you can do it there. Yeah, so it's very easy to use. Now I want to show you a plugin that is already in Power BI. So if you go into your Power BI, you're able to, we'll obviously give you the login credential to the server. So you go to the database and you input the details of that, and then you will load, and then it will all come here. So all the data will be there, and then you can then plot your own table on graph. This is obviously in Power BI. So all the data, raw data as well as aggregated data are already there. So this one will just be minimal integration. Plugin is ready. Now, custom report builder is probably a bit more interesting. Now, these features allows you to customize tasks, data views, dashboards based on the different job roles. So you don't want to overload a sales director with marketing or operation data. So they want to be really specific and really tailored. Some of them are instructional, some can be data heavy for data analysts, and some are designed for quick decision making. So each line of them has the different KPIs and metrics. So the dashboard, not just the report, need to be customized for each different use case. So so let's have a look at the custom report again. So we have here, so you can go. I'll show you a quick video, and then I'll show you a quick demo on there. So this video is to show you how you can actually build from scratch in just 5 minutes. So you go and create new, give it a name, and say who you want to give access to the user, and then it comes here, and then you go into designer, and then you can click what kind of widget you want, customize it. So if you want it last day, last 7 days, you have that. You can hide or show all of them, give it a name, and you then save it. Now then you can go into designer, and then you can obviously rename it as well. You can also add another one, another entity widget. So we can add multiple, and then as we go, that the other one there, and then another heat map there. You can of course then customize that onto, the different last 7 days of all those hours in there. So you can customize that, and I think I'm going to show you how you can also adjust the size of it. So in there. So all in all, these are all done in under 5 minutes. Yeah. So let me show you a quick one. So let's say, for example, that was what was created there, and I can then go into the designer, and I want to add a add on it. So that's the hourly data analytic widget. I can move it up there if I want. So if I move it, then move it here, and then I can go and configure it. And so for example, then I can go configure that. I want to look at in a bar chart view. I can save that. I can give it a name. So I want to call it hourly trend for that. And then it will be there. And I can obviously adjust the view. Like I want to have more space there. And then I go down there. I can adjust all this. Yeah. So obviously then you can adjust how you want to see it. I can also I can adjust it even further if I go back to here, and if I then name it here. So if I want to call it hourly trend, for example, there, enter. So that's then changed my title. So yeah, so this is how easy and quick you can obviously save that. I save that. Yeah, and then it's saved. And I can then send an email. So if I selected that and if I want to send an email to myself, then you can send that. Sorry, I didn't enter it correctly. Then I can send it. And that's sent successfully. Yeah. So that's how easy you can do your report dashboard customization. So we also have device rules engine. So not only the rules engine on the V9 dashboard, so those are the system rules. Now on the device level, because the device can collect a vast amount of data, but maybe you don't need all of them to be uploaded. You don't want to process all of it. You might just have something that you're interested. So you can configure what data is processed at the edge level, at device level. So you can reduce the bandwidth and the storage needs while you're still capturing the relevant insight. So this level, you have all this link here, we can show you. So you come in here, you can set, of course, the device level, you can then obviously set your counting data and all that. Then you come in here, then you can create different rules, health check, or if you have a person passing a certain line and you want to send an alert. So for example, so all this storage and things, you can do that. So let me show you there. There's a short video on here as well. So what kind of device rules? So you log into it, then you come to rules and you create the new rules. And maybe you want to have an alert on health check. So every minute or every hour and so forth. And you want to check on the storage or the memory. You make it active, of course, on there. And anytime you can come back and edit it as well. So if you want to say, I want to look at the temperature as well, if you like, or any other things, then you can save it. Then the alert will then come on for that. Now, things like, so you have other things. So for example, we have customer who want to say, if I have, for example, if I have people, you have a zone that is more high ticket price, and you don't have staff always manning there because not a lot of people go there. But if the customer is there for a while, it enters the zone for, let's say, 3 minutes or 5 minutes, then you want to alert the staff to go there and serve because it's a high ticket price area. So you want to serve them. So you can set all those things as well at edge level as well. So the last but not least, the floor plan design. Now, we have covered this in a bit more detail in another webinar, so I won't go through it too much, but you can draw polygon, you can so then you can have your wiring layout for the installer. And one of the key feature is to link this drawing to the configuration of areas so that you can configure your queuing zone, your merchandising area, your aisles or your walkthrough paths and all this. So for all these different area types, it serves as a different functions that requires different metrics, different compilation rules and settings. So V9 enables all this. So let's have a quick look on this floor plan design. So it looks like this. So you can pull your device over there. You can draw a polygon. We covered this in the previous webinar. You can draw your different zone. So what I want to show you particularly here is that so in here it will show you how you can then create a floor plan and for that, and you can upload your floor plan from there, and then it comes up here for that, and then you can create your area. I think just now it just draw like a polygon. You can call it zone A and give it a different color, and so you can band with it. So you can draw the different color zone over there. And then you can add all the devices. So I think here in this zone, what I want to show you in here is that you can actually tie, for example, here, you come into there, you can tie that to your area name. So when you actually do your aggregation on your dashboard, you can tie this physical zone on your floor plan to that area already. So all the system design makes it very smooth and easy to manage. So, and then you can add obviously all the devices there. You can then pull your device with all things like mounting height, then you can pull it there, position it. So, and it has all the coordinates, the XY coordinates on your floor plan on there. So even if your layout has changed, the device position doesn't change, it will then aggregate it into the different zones as you move. So this make maintaining very, very easy. So you can go through that video that way. Yeah. So, so making the live collaboration very easy. So now we will talk about this in the next webinar. So this is more for our more technical partner, like system integrator, technology partner with their own platform. So we are going to talk about how you can build your own apps with the V9 platform. We offer V9 white labeled as well. So, and you can define your own business logic and metrics to feed your other platform, your other business, your solutions that you are providing. We can combine your multi-source data for better AI insights. And so you can create this and dominate the specific market vertical. Yeah. So, and we have launched, and then you can launch it via the FootfallCam app marketplace. And further upcoming workshops as well. We going to talk about the features and functionalities of V9, so why people are choosing us, and the training on how to configure the more configuration of that and setting up the V9, and of course for the different stakeholders, and the advanced integration as well, and the API and data security. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, for the insightful presentation. We've covered some great points today, and I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions. And I can see in the chat that we've already received some great questions, so we will now move on to the Q&A section.
Okay. We have one question. How is V9 different from other people counting platforms? So most traditional platforms are device-centric, and they provide raw data or basic aggregated data. So V9 is a full-featured platform with no-code and low-code capabilities that allows our partners and customers to customize their own dashboard, their reports, alerts in minutes. So it's very easy, quick, and to use. We also build business workflows and automation logic in it, integrate with enterprise system via plugins, so you don't have to write codes. We also deploy edge AI models and data processing rules at the device level as well. And so this turns our people counting into a strategic tool for digital transformation. So not just a sensor system, but actually fits in to the new digital transformation vision. Okay, a second question. Do I need programming knowledge to use the customization tools? No, this is why as you have seen the demo just now, we design it so that you don't need that. So all the key features like the dashboard builder, the rules engine, the integration workflow, the floor plan configuration, and even the AI model deployment, they can be used through the visual interfaces with no coding. So the system is designed to be used by business users, operation managers, or system integrators without the deep software development skills. Yeah. The third question, can these customizations be reused across multiple sites or clients? Yes, so for example, if you are our partners and you have different clients, or you have a client, you have different sites, different countries. So yes, FootfallCam V9 supports templating. So you can create your standardized dashboards, rules, or AI models, and you can clone them across projects. This is especially useful for the partners managing multiple clients, as I mentioned, with many locations as well, yeah? Next question. How does FootfallCam handle real-time data challenges like offline device or missing data. Yeah, the platform includes the built-in fault tolerance features that I mentioned. So to use them, like data buffering and auto resync when device come back online. So sometimes inevitably the network at the client side is down or for temporarily, we do have data buffering and auto resync. So we have all those error handling. We also have patch up and interpolation tools for data holes. So sometimes the device really have gone off. You have a power cut, right? Obviously the device not counting. You have a data hole. You have to patch them. So we have those tools there. We also have scheduled tasks that retries the logging and alerts on there. We have data integrity checks to ensure the accurate reporting. So even if you don't have data holes, you have all the data there, we need to check data integrity. So we have those checks in place already. So all these ensure the smooth integration with third-party system. So you don't have to do this on your side. So if you then just take the aggregated data that has already made sure we have done all the sanity check, so you do a smooth integration on that so that you can get a consistent data flows. Yeah. Next question. Can we import historical data from other vendors like Irisys or ShopperTrack? Yes. So FootfallCam offers this import plugins for major legacy system, like you mentioned, Irisys, Brickstream, Zovis, ShopperTrack, allowing you to consolidate all your historical data when you come into V9 platform. So, and you can perform patching and align it with the new metrics for a unified analytics experience. We still also support if your legacy system is still working. So apart from historical data, your live and your active and working data from these legacy, because sometimes you don't want to do a complete swap out or replacement. You may want to install the new site with FootfallCam the device and the old site continuing using your legacy system until it's end of life. You can have all those in the V9, so you have a unified analytics experience. Next question. What kind of AI models can we build using the annotation and deployment tools? You can build behavior detection, like if they're browsing, queuing, are they engaging with the product, which area they're engaging with. So you can have this behavior detection. You can have heat-based cluster, like activity clusters. You can have custom zone tracking, visit duration mode. You can have predictive models for traffic forecasting. So based on historically, when you have a sunny day and you run that campaign, your morning data will be this. So you're going to have more likely to have this kind of customer demographic coming in. So those traffic forecasting we can have. So all this can be done without writing a code. So via our GUI, graphic UI interface in driven workspace. So you have a visual workspace, so you don't have to go to the backend to do the coding. So to harvest, to annotate, so you can annotate. So these are all machine learning. So you can annotate, train, evaluate, and then deploy that AI model. Yeah. Now, and we're going to talk about this obviously in the future webinar. Next question. How does V9 reduce the total cost of ownership of a people counting system? So I think this is very clear now to everyone because you don't need a very expensive customization. You don't need a third-party integrators for the basic software development. We have all the templates and the no-code tools to enable the reuse and fast deployment. And you only for the whole journey, for the whole end-to-end solution, you only need 1 or 2 partners involved instead of 4 to 5 vendors. Again, that obviously cost goes down. Your real-time automation will cut down your manual intervention or operational overhead. And all the software and AI infrastructures is bundled, so you don't have to build things from scratch. So all this, of course, then it reduces the total cost of ownership. Yeah. The next question, I think we'll do just a few more questions on there. How flexible is integration with other systems? So as we showed just now, the V9 supports out-of-the-box plugins already with Shopify, Salesforce, SAP, Power BI, Tableau, Storeforce, others. We have already out-of-the-box plugins. We also have customs rules for import and export, like we show you just now, and multiple delivery methods. Like you can have MQTT, HTTP, FTP, BACnet to integrate with your HVAC or lightings and so forth. We also have the retry queues and error handling mechanisms for all this. So all this enable flexible and reliable integration, even for complex enterprise workflows. Yeah. The next question, how do we get started building our own apps or metrics on the V9 platforms? So you can start with the template from the app marketplace, and you can use the analytics manager and the rules engine to define your custom logic. And you can combine imported data sources with FootfallCam metrics. You can combine any of those data source. You can schedule reports, set KPI, trigger alerts, all without needing the coding. So the next webinar we will cover this more advanced capabilities. Yeah. Okay, let's have the last question. How does this help me offer more value as a partner? So with this, you can deliver a turnkey solution without you having a full development team. You don't need that. Yeah. So, and then already being able to deliver a turnkey solution, you can offer your client the tailored dashboards. So, and then you can go into different industry as well, and the integrations for them and rule sets for your customer. You can create your own package vertical solution for malls, airports, franchise for them. You can build your recurring revenue streams based on via the managed service. So you may be, even though it's very easy to customize the dashboard, maybe your end user don't even have that, or they don't want to, they rather you to manage the service for them. So you can create these recurring revenue streams for that. So all by leveraging on the CAM's infrastructure as your base. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, for that insightful and informative presentation. We've covered some valuable topics today, and we truly appreciate your expertise. Thanks again for being part of today's session, and we look forward to seeing you at our next workshop.
Thank you.